Hi again, it's me. And today I'm going to talk about something that I've been going to speak about it for a long time, but I've always got sidetracked. And it's a shame because it's one of the most important things you'll ever learn, and that is how to learn your own lessons. I'll say that again: how to learn your own lessons. Um, Now, our psyche, with the help of other people, help us learn our lessons. But unfortunately, most people aren't even looking in the right direction, which is a shame. Um, in my life awareness classes, I do a thing called the reflection zone. And I ask a person to go home and come back the week after with something that pisses them off, that they believe it's somebody else's lesson and not theirs. And they do, they come back. And in my book, I give several examples. Um, I'll use one of them now. There was a lady came and she was, she says, I went home last week and I always go to bed early. I like to read in bed. So I go to bed about 8 o'clock and I read and then I fall asleep. I said, but on this occasion, my husband had gone out drinking, and when he came in, he woke me up, and I thought, how inconsiderate is that? How thoughtless. She goes, and it really annoyed me, and I thought I'll use this in the group because this is perfect. Because she says, I can't see what I've got to learn from this at all. Now, as a spiritual psychologist, this is what I do. This is my bread and butter of explaining to you why you're doing what you're doing. So I said to the lady, do you mind if we talk about this in the group because it's quite personal, this one? And she goes, no, I don't mind talking about it in the group. I've got nothing to hide. So I said, why do you go to bed so early? And I could feel her defending herself straight away. And I decided to disarm that and say, do you mind if I just explain it to you? It's easier. So I said, the reason you go to bed at 8 o'clock is to make sure you can be asleep for when your husband comes to bed, because you don't want to face physical intimacy with your husband. I'm not judging. That's what your psychic's saying to us as a group. And I could see by her reaction that she knew it was true. But as she felt a little bit guilty, I said, well, you don't need to feel guilty because now you've just learned a lesson about yourself. But you couldn't learn that lesson without your husband. So I said, now you've got three choices, because what the golden rule says to us is a person shows you that you are the opposite to them, that bothers you, or the person shows you that you're the same as them, or they show you where you are in your self-maintenance. By that I mean, if you're in a bad place or a good place, they'll show you where you are. Now your husband's showing you that you've got an issue and makes you face it. That doesn't mean to say you have to face it. You just have to recognize it's your lesson, not his. Now his lesson is, you could choose to leave it exactly as it is and carry on blaming your husband. But you know that's unfair because you know it's a lesson you've got to learn. Or you can talk about it. Now talking about it might mean things might change. Sometimes drastically if you start talking about things. So you might choose not to even talk about it, but you're not blaming him anymore. Or you just leave it where you consider doing something in future, but for now leave things as they are. And you no longer blame so you can carry on blaming your husband, or you can take ownership of your lesson yourself, and you can do something about it. But you've got your three options. You don't have to do anything drastic, but you just see your own lesson. So let me give you another example that I use in the book. A friend of mine, or a client of mine, she ran a cafe, and one of her members of staff had fallen and broke a finger. And she put a claim in for some money and put a sick note in so she didn't have to work. And she says, and I'm really annoyed because she's pathetic. There's nothing really that bad. She's only hurt a little finger. And my insurance is going to go up. My premium. She goes, so it annoys me. And I can't see my lesson in that. And I said, I know you can't. But that's my job, is to show you. And if you can get into the habit of looking at it, you can learn very quickly. And your life can improve very quickly. So I'd say the golden rule shows you your opposite, or somebody who's the same as you, or they're showing you where your maintenance is. So let this lady, I said, I've known this lady who I'm talking about who run this cafe. I've known her for 6, 7 months. And in that time, all she spoke about is advice she wanted for her kids, for her husband, for her mother who was disabled. She used to take a disabled mother out shopping. The one day she had off, she never sat for a minute. She was busy, busy, busy. Now, the only people who don't like lazy people is people who work too hard. Now, this lady really worked too hard. She even had, she was rushed to hospital because she thought she'd had a stroke. It turned out it was a false alarm. She signed herself out and went back to work. She doesn't care about herself at all. And now she's got someone who's the total opposite of her, who cares about everything. She's having some money for a finger that she's had broken. She's going to have a claim in there. She's going to have some time off work. And you think she's wrong. But you're both wrong. She's just showing you how wrong you are. And you're showing her how wrong she is. But you can't make her learn her lessons. You can learn yours. Now, if you have a little bit more time off and have a bit more fun, you'll start to see life in a nicer way. And you'll be able to see the good bits that girl can do, not just that she's too self-obsessed. You'll see that she's really good with the customers, better than what you are. She's got her own gift. So you only see things when people show them to you. So, as I say, the only people who hate lazy people is people who work too hard. If I'm having lots of fun, I don't give a monkey's what someone's doing work-wise. I'm a happy person in life. So I'm the man who's living on the government money. I don't have to call him names. I'm not angry because I've got no anger to vent. And if you get what you want in your life, then you won't have to judge other people. That's what the Golden Rule is all about. Realizing that we're all in it together. We're all showing each other what we need to see to make our life better. What do you think? Do you agree or not?